3, 2, 1.
All right. Good morning, everybody. It's 10 o'clock. It's time to go. Yes. I'm glad to have y'all with us today. It's good to see y'all. It's been, 12 hours since I saw y'all last. It's good to see you.
Not too much volume out of
Yesterday, a long day. Wonderful day. Great day of interaction and connection with folks in the community. You know, it's really cool to sit down with people that are from the community and just say thanks for coming. And get to talk to them some about kind of the history of the day with them, and just to say, you know, all we're asking everybody is just in this world where we're on our phones all the time, me included, that we just ask people to sit down and just eat and break bread together just for a minute, and that's really pretty cool. And so it's great. And so the kids did great. Well, it was preliminary numbers for, cookies and cakes and all that stuff, and kids down in the road. But everybody did fine, and we'll have some more to sell this afternoon, right after worship. And so we got all that, taken care of. So super good. Glad to have everybody. So now let's talk about Jesus. Sit in Luke 17. Is it ringing? It is buzzing. Okay, we got it. Does that seem loud to me? I'm sorry. That's not a part of the class. How about now? You good?
Yeah, it seems very low coming through the speakers.
Okay, it's not as bad. The ringing is not as bad.
Every day, every Sunday.
I mean,
You just keep doing your thing.
Okay, keep doing my thing. Gotcha. Okay. Luke 17. So let's Luke 17, 11 through 19. Just a little backup, and just so we can continue. Is this going to come into play when we start reading this passage? Remember chapter 9. Transfiguration, Jesus sets his face. Luke tells us he sets his face on Jerusalem. And so from chapter 9 on, all he's doing is going to Jerusalem. And so these are the stories that he hits along the way, and until he gets there. So this is a long journey, Jerusalem journey here. And so today I'm not the geographic guy, but I actually looked up what they're talking about here and why he brings it up in the first place. So he's taking an instrument. He's not using GPS. He's not using the fastest route to get to Jerusalem. He's not. Restart the actual program. That's okay. So here he is. He's on the way. And so some of that comes up in this passage today. They kind of mention those things to remind us. And also, just kind of the people, think about the people that are included in the story. Think about the rhetoric, the word. This is my word. How he says things. And that's comes into play here too, which is really important. And, let's read it and we'll go from there. 17, 11 through 19. On the way to Jerusalem, Jesus was going through the region between Samaria and Galilee. And as he entered a village, 10 lepers approached him.
Keeping their distance, they called out, saying, "Jesus, Master, have mercy on us." And when he saw them, he said to them, "Go and show yourselves to the priest." And as they went, they were made clean. When he saw that he was healed, turned back, praising God with a loud voice, he prostrated himself at Jesus' feet and thanked him. And he was a Samaritan. Then Jesus asked, "Were not 10 made clean? But the other 9, where are they? Was none of them found to return and give praise to God except this foreigner?" And then he said to him, "Get up and go on your way. Your faith has made you well." All right. Familiar? Pretty familiar for everybody? Great. Super. What do you think? What'd you hear? Ingratitude. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay.
The chosen
Uh-huh.
And one of them was not a chosen person.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave praise for opportunity for
Yeah,
that is face.
it's good. Okay. Wow, these are all good. Anybody else? Yeah. Okay. I like all these. This is good. Are we good? Super. Thanks. I love it when I get the thumbs up from the guys upstairs. All right. Anybody else?
I did wonder reading that last verse.
Uh-huh.
How he came back, he
Uh,
was healed.
yeah.
The others were healed, but did they stay healed? Since they didn't.
Yeah. This.
It says,
Yeah.
your faith has made you well.
Yeah. This story's got problems. Okay. Let's just say. Just say it right up front. This story has problems. And that's okay, because that y'all know that in here we get to question everything. That's what I love about. That's why I became a Presbyterian, because growing up Pentecostal, you couldn't question anything in the Bible. If it said it, it's right, and for anything else, you're wrong. And here you can go, hey, wait a second, this doesn't make total sense. This story has that you go, no, wait, did that mean that they're not healed now? Did that go away? Did they go and then all of a sudden they turn back? Oh my gosh, what happened here? Or is it that they are healed? They went on about their way too. Yeah. Oh, and there's another thing too. Okay. Oh, go ahead. He said they went to did they go to the priest? Did they do what they were supposed to do? Yeah. Yeah, you could do that. That's the priest or who you went to. Maybe they did it with binoculars. Yeah, okay, you look pretty good. Okay, you can take a step closer. I don't know. I don't know exactly how that part worked. But it's also, think about this part, about this, where we talk about leprosy and we think it's this disease. And Luke's very clear, Luke tells us that they do everything they're supposed to do, right? Keeping their distance. See, this is the rhetoric stuff that I go, this is what I'm interested in. I don't care where they were on the map. I want to know about what they said. Keeping their distance. Luke lets us know, man, these people followed the rules here. And they called out. Let's see, I would have said they hollered, but that's a whole different discussion. But that, hey, here it is. They did what they were supposed to do. But he doesn't send them to a doctor. He sends them to the priest. This really is more about an issue of community than it is about you're out. You're out. There. You're not. And that's the issue. You're kept away from the community. And now he... Yeah. Well, it sounds like a lot of things. It's just like, like when we were kids and in the third grade and somebody had cooties. I don't know what cooties were, but you didn't get near that kid, From, yeah. It's just like, it's something that separated you out. Think about when somebody said in school, oh, they have lice. There was just a stigma that went with that you just, come on. Seriously. Now we're just like, that's just Tuesday for kids. But that's, it's not, I know, yeah, it's an issue for teachers. I got you. But still, see, that's the same thing here, and you had to be checked out before you got to. But it's the priest that let you in. It wasn't a doctor, a physician. And so it.
Wouldn't part of this be that here is an outcast? Once again, it is an outcast who recognizes that the healing power of the Creator is coming to someone who's not part of this chosen, and who recognizes this divinity and the healing power, and so much so
the ultimate aspect is that, yeah, this guy's not an outsider once because he's got leprosy. He's an outsider twice. And Jesus calls that out. And if you go through this list in this journey, Jesus comes across these people who are the folks that catch it, aren't the folks that are supposed to be getting it. Now remember, when we talked about from the very start, Luke is a gospel written to lower socioeconomic Gentiles. And so you can understand why this story is in Luke, because these outsiders, these Gentiles are the ones who are getting it. And he's making sure that his audience hears, guess what? You can get it. You can be a part of this, even though you're out here, that you can actually be in with Jesus. And Jesus even points out, hey, weren't there 9? Where are these, or, weren't there 10 and these 9 others who were supposed to be, the in crowd? And again, as I point that out and as we look down our noses at them, they are us in this story, okay? And so we might want to be a little kinder to them than we can be, because we are talking about ourselves when we say that. Because we are the religious insiders, because we're sitting here on a Sunday morning. Yeah. Oh. It's very clear. Outsider. And this whole story, because Jesus is going over here to Galilee, Samaria. He wants to make it known that, it is kind of this swoop out here, and I don't know, like you leave here and you go to Kannapolis to get to Charlotte. I mean, nobody does. I mean, it's just kind of like, yeah. And so that happens, and and then here's another problematic issue number 2 with this story. What's the Samaritan doing hanging out with 9? Even though they all have leprosy, what's this one Samaritan doing with these other 9?
But we don't know whether anymore were Samaritans or not.
Yeah.
But they were all,
Well,
in that society, they were all outcasts
Yeah.
because of the leprosy.
Oh, that's a bummer. Oh, gotcha. Cool. Somebody's car, your horn's beeping. But, okay. So, well, we know at least this one, okay? We know this one has issues here, or is that outsider. And Jesus is saying, hey, he is the one who actually catches it and gets it and is now, allowed. Now, what did happen? Let's talk about those other 9.
Can I ask a question?
Sure. Go ahead. Ask all the questions y'all want to ask.
I know that you hear about the Good Samaritan and you hear about this Samaritan.
Mm-hmm.
Was that always the example of the bad guy? I mean, were Samaritans the only people at that time that were considered beneath other people, or is that just Jesus' way of pointing out something that was obvious to people?
When the Samaritans were and the Jews did not get along. That is, and those 2 stories, interestingly enough, are in Luke, as opposed to others. No, I'm sure that they're like all of us. They had a list of enemies, people they just didn't like or they thought were. But the Samaritan, when you say the word Samaritan, it's kind of like us. Well, he was a good Samaritan, and I want to say to everybody, that's an oxymoron to them. There's no such thing as a good Samaritan. That's why the story is, again, just somebody helping somebody changing a car tire out on the street. That's a nice thing to do, but the notion of good Samaritan was the people that were listening to that story the first time when he said the Samaritan's the hero, they were like, oh, no. And it's like me, now Phil will catch this inference. It's like me going to Kentucky and going, Christian Laettner is the hero. He is not. He is hated, still to this day. So, but I mean, you see what I'm saying? And that's the point. That Jesus, when he's telling that story, that parable, it is to irritate those people who are listening. It's not, it's for us to go, oh, that's such a good story. He stopped and helped him change his tire on the side of the road.
So
It's like,
an
ooh,
attention getter or just
there. And this story is an attention getter too in the same way.
So what is the problem? Other than it's a parable.
Well, this isn't a parable, but
I mean, it is a story to
yeah.
tell us.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about the problems of this.
Yeah.
But isn't it just pointing out some of our, it's meant to point out our
Yeah.
own stupidity, for lack of a better word?
Yeah.
Hey, look,
Sure.
look what these people who you think are
Yeah. Yeah.
ants on the ground can do better than you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't seem to me that it's that much of a problem other than,
Only just theologians who want to talk about the problems.
yeah. So, I mean,
We got to have something to write about. Come on. Jeez.
yeah, but.
Go ahead.
I mean, it just seems to me it's like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
even those of you that think you sit up in the pulpit.
Yeah. Wow, now we're getting really personal. But go ahead. Yeah. You're right.
You're looking for something to write about, hey.
That's right. No, I mean, no. The only the problematic part of this story is okay. Are they? He said they're all healed. So what happens to them? And I have my own answer for about the 9, but I'll save that for later if you don't mind. But because people always go, well, what happened to them? Were they healed? Were they still healed? I mean, I think in essence, he did tell them, you go to the priest, you go do what you do. I think they are. I think they are. Now, this last line, as you say, well, your faith has made you well. I think that the Samaritan gets to walk away with the blessing too, and he just. We see a lot of people in this world who end up who get healed or who find wholeness or who win the lottery and they have no gratitude whatsoever. But there is that one, and he finds some sense of wholeness here. And he's the one who gets pointed out as opposed to the others. I mean, they probably do get, if Jesus said it, I suspect if they do what they're supposed to do, they get to walk off with what they got.
Well, they had faith, or they wouldn't have called out to him in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's just this notion of the one took time to come back and acknowledge it. Yeah.
We're just talking about the red route.
Yeah.
There's not that many people that preach to it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I think Luke wants us to know for sure this is why there's a Samaritan in the story. He goes out of his way to go, okay, yeah, he's. And again. Well, and another issue in this story, because, and we talk about that a little bit in the sermon, because there are many places where Jesus just says, go on your way, your faith has made you well. He doesn't expect anybody to come back and say anything. But the notion here, too, that highlights it in a very special way is that he is this outsider, this Samaritan, this person where these others are supposed to outshine him in, in so many different ways.
You don't usually see Jesus holding people accountable
Yeah.
without showing gratitude.
Yeah.
Not praising God.
Right. Yeah.
It tells me that we all need to be spending a little bit of time, like, thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
Instead of just moving on.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard him, you're the theologian. Okay? But how many
Well, I mentioned a few of them in the sermon today. I don't know that I can count them all in my head, but no. You're good. You're good. But you're absolutely right that there are many places where Jesus just tells them, go on about your way. Your faith has made you well, and that's it.
Maybe he sent 9 business cards to the priest. He says, go show the priest.
Yeah.
I'm legit.
Yeah.
Show the priest that I'm legit.
Well, that definitely. If they did, they don't have a responsibility to explain how they got where they were. They didn't have to. All they have to do is go, look, I'm clean now. They didn't say, hey, Jesus did this, but maybe. Well, you have to. You had to do that. That was the. It's got to be in Leviticus somewhere. You go show yourself to the priest. But so they had to follow. But that is ultimately those 9 had to go follow through with that part. And so even if they do, if they walk off with their healing, that Jesus still did it, and they still get to come back to the community like nobody wants to be. The only times you want to be by yourself is when you get to choose to be by yourself. I like being by myself. That's a part of being this borderline extrovert, introvert person, is that when my battery gets low, I have to go sit by myself or, go do whatever and then kind of return and come back. But I get to choose to do that. When you're forced to be isolated, nobody likes that.
So let's put this in Mount Rulo.
Ooh, we can now because it's 20 after. Go ahead.
Let's look at 120.
There you go. I know.
Our world is so full of so many people. So let's just take, there's alcoholism, there's drug abuse, there's all this stuff.
Sure.
Somebody gets caught up in that. They become isolated.
Right.
Because of what they've done.
Uh-huh.
And then they go through a program, they get healed.
Mm-hmm.
Faith in the program, faith in whatever. Do we want that person to turn around and say, this is what got me here and promote that? Do we want them to go back and say thank you to that program, or those programs really looking for you to come back and say, give your gratitude? I'm just looking at, a real life example for us in the 21st century.
Right. My experience with people who are part of AA, and we have several groups here, and I've gotten to know them. Some of them are it's different. Different people come with different. Some don't. They just don't want to talk. Somebody the other day didn't know where they were during the weekday, and they came in and said, "Hey, I hate to bother you." And I'm like, okay, we're whispering in my office. You can talk. It's just us. But where are they at? And there's some, they've had so many boundaries crashed. They don't, they're just like, hey, here I am. This program is really, really, and they swear by it, and they will show great gratitude for that program and for their community that they're a part of in a great sort of way.
I also think that person might not go back to the program, but once they get back out with family and friends, people might ask them.
Yeah.
So that's why I think the 9 lepers were important, because once they might not have gone to the priest, but once they're back in their communities, people are going to want to know what happened.
They don't get to go back to the community unless they go through the priest. That's the way. That's the rule. Their rules. I don't make those. Jesus didn't make their rules. That was their. You had to go through the priest. And again, keep that in mind. It's not a doctor that tells them that they're whole. So this really, really, really is about a religious connection here. That's important to them in the community. Who gets to be in and who doesn't get to be in.
Well, again, you go back to the community, people are gonna ask, well, how did you,
Yeah, I,
Ish, right?
yeah, I don't, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not. I don't. I,
But it'd be
yeah.
the same thing.
You would, yeah. Somebody would have
Telling a
asked.
story.
Yeah, how'd this happen to you?
Why
Yeah,
are you back? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
again, you're,
yeah.
even if people leave and, are gone 5
Yeah.
or 6 years, they
Yeah.
suddenly show up on church on
Yeah.
Sunday, you're like, oh, you're back, why are you back? Did you move back? Like,
Yeah.
there's just,
There's a
it gives
there
an
there is.
opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to give that praise.
Right.
And I think it's interesting, because he doesn't say, Jesus doesn't say, go tell anybody, he just says, "Go."
Yeah. But he is astounded that somebody comes back and it just happens to be this guy. What happened to the other 9? And Jesus even asked, but nobody answers that question.
But how much did Jesus really experience that?
What?
Somebody coming back and saying that.
Well, I can't say totally because that's in the sermon. But
But, I mean.
no, it's no.
So, I mean, but even as.
You're gonna find it.
As an educator, this past week, our
Yeah.
8th graders had their final football game,
Mm-hmm.
and they got to choose teachers to go back and give their home jerseys to.
Yeah.
And you got to wear their jerseys
Yeah.
for that.
All right.
So when I had kids come back and give me their jerseys,
Yeah.
say, thanks, Miss Watson, for
Yeah.
helping me,
Yeah.
that gratitude.
It's pretty cool.
Said a lot.
Yeah.
And maybe this was one of those
Yeah.
moments
Yeah.
for him that this means a lot. I mean, hey, Jesus is pretty cool, and I'll
Yeah.
go back and say thank you too, but,
Yeah.
it's, maybe that's
Yeah.
just,
I think it's the notion of how often the lack of gratitude is there. And so, what do we do with this passage? What does this passage mean for us? Rocky River Presbyterian Church, right here on this corner, all these years, right now. Boom. What do we take away from this?
I think it's a reminder just to be more grateful for what you got. I mean,
That's a pretty good response.
we're in a place where I don't think we think all the time about how wealthy we are. Even if you live in a tiny house somewhere in the country, compared to most people in the world, we are wealthy.
We're doing pretty great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And, just being grateful for your health and just gratitude in general. I don't think we're very good about being grateful.
Right?
just the size of our
Yeah.
congregation, the people who come out and
Yeah.
do things.
Yeah.
That's not typical.
Not anymore. No. Let me just tell you something about congregations too, and then I feel I got you. Don't forget your thought. Okay. But here's the deal. Congregations, I've had 4, and others. Congregations tend to be, well, we're just this or we're just that, and I'm just like, do you understand how amazing the things you do are? I mean, and all of them had their own special places. I mean, not to jinx us or everything, but coming out of August into September into finance, we're in the black. Do you know how many churches are in the black in August, September? About 4. I mean, maybe. I mean, the fact, and that's not to say, oh, we can stop giving now. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that there's just this amazing sense of who we are and what we're doing. And a lot of different things. I sat online with some friends the other day listening to conversations about who they are, what they're doing. In this church, churches need to recognize how well we're able to do things. Yeah, of course we could do things better, and of course we have our issues. I mean, we're human beings. Sorry, but that's a part of the deal. But we are doing good things. Yeah. Yeah.
I said it before, and I say it again. You come out of this church any day,
Mm-hmm.
and it's open, and there's people here
Mm-hmm.
doing something.
Yeah.
Somebody's here. How many churches I pass every day with the parking lot chained up?
Yeah.
They're only open
Yeah.
twice a week.
That's right. Yeah. And while worship is the most important thing we do, and it is the most important thing we do, the new line of thinking in the world says, if Sunday is your most important day of having people on the premises, you are going to go out of business. And so we can't say that. Come up here tomorrow morning. Come here tomorrow morning and see how many people are here. Yeah, or Wednesday evenings, that's right. Yeah. Yeah. And see how many parking spots there are not that are not empty. Right.
It didn't really hit me.
Right.
Thinking
Yeah.
about it.
Right.
Before I left,
Yeah.
asked the guy I worked with, their church is doing the
Yeah.
fish fry.
Uh-huh.
And that's how,
Right.
I'll have your barbecue,
Yeah. Yeah.
still free to the public, and
Yeah.
well, our fish fries for a good cause.
Yeah. Yeah.
One single cause.
Yeah.
Our barbecue for our whole community.
Yeah. We're good for them for doing what they're doing. Good for us for doing what we're doing, you know. It also reminds us too, and I'll end with this one because I am a minute over and I hate that. But it also reminds us too that recognize two things on this. Number one, it is an outsider who recognizes the gratitude. And so we have to be aware of that we don't have a monopoly on recognizing God's graciousness in the world. And sometimes we can feel like that. And number two, this is a really neat thing here with the rhetoric of Jesus sees these people. Jesus sees these lepers. And that's Luke's way, again, that's that rhetoric stuff where I go, oh my gosh, this is amazing. How people who are other than or that we keep at an arm's length are often unseen. You know? Those guys who stand on the highway dividers and what exits, I can't tell you what any of them look like. I know they're there, but I don't look over at them. And I wish they weren't standing there for a lot of reasons because I'm always afraid that one of them's going to get hit. And there's a lot of other things that go with it. But people who are other than, they're like, we just want to be seen. When I did urban ministry, that was the thing. They said, I just want people to know my name. They don't know my name. And I just like to be seen. And that is a great thing that Luke does here. Jesus sees them. Jesus sees them. That's pretty cool. So for all the unseen people who feel they're unseen, Jesus sees you. Pretty neat. Let's pray. Gracious God, we give thanks for these texts that challenge us, push us to recognize and to just take a minute to say thank you for all the things that you've done for us and continue to do for us. Gratitude. Wow. What an amazing concept. May we be faithful. It's in your name we pray.